phone. So, like I said, it's kind of choppy here in Indiana. So, what was your final straw? I actually made a whole TikTok about this. After I made my birthday video and it went viral. My abuser was like started a new job and was working a lot, whereas before they weren't really working very much at all, and so they would come home late at night, and they had said that they wanted to take care of my son and like spend time with him and do his nighttime routine, but each night they were coming home later and later and later and like having weird random excuses, which by this point we were broken up but just living together, so like it doesn't matter that they were lining someone up, which they were lining up this girl who like literally just got married. And they came home and they started being like crueler and crueler to him, and each night I like noticed that he was getting like he didn't want to be around them, and he would say, no, I don't want you, I just want mommy. And then during the day, like we would get in the car to go do something and he'd say, just me and you, right? And I remember being like, this is really weird, like he normally feels okay being around them, but all of a sudden he doesn't want to be around them. And then one night they came home and were like, when he said he didn't want them storming around the house, saying he was a brat, calling him names, calling me names, saying that he's turning into a brat because I'm parenting him and not letting them parent the way they want to. And so I packed up and left. There was someone there staying with us at the time and helped me get out, and I believe that that's the only reason that we did get out calmly. Because when I left, they, like, cornered me and were like, you're doing this. Like, while I was holding my son, they were like, you're doing this. You don't have to leave. And I'm like, what's my other option? Like, let you continue to abuse my son? And so I left, and then it was about another week before I, like, actually got away from them because I booked a one-way ticket to see my family, which is where I am now. I'm visiting my family right now. So that was my final straw. When you see the effect on kids, it hits different. That's why I went into contact with my mother-in-law. Absolutely. And you think about, like, I remember, like, obviously in the time leading up to that, I was very aware that something was wrong, but I was in cognitive dissonance. I was in a trauma bond. I was mostly able to protect him from the things that they would say and, like, parent my way because I was, like, shielding. Like, I was, like, a shield between him and them. But I remember thinking, I was very afraid because I was like, if it was up to them, he would either grow up to be like them, which is a narcissist, which I didn't understand at the time, or be really, really closed off like his dad, or be a shit show like me. Because I really, truly believe that I had disorganized attachment, that I was a mess. I wasn't able to have a healthy relationship. Like, I truly believed all the things that they convinced me of at the time. Whereas now I'm like, hey, if my son turns out like me, that's okay. Hopefully he's like me and better and stronger and recognizes red flags in relationships and knows how to get out. But I'm very strong and I am very smart and I am not any of the things that my abuser said that I was. But obviously abuse can happen to anyone. It can happen to no matter how educated you are. Like, people with I'm currently, like, in a group with other creators that we call ourselves the Narc Avengers, and there's people in there with PhDs. There's people in there with all kinds of education, all kinds of backgrounds. All of us got sucked into this. So, again, it can happen to anyone. So if my son turns out like me, that's okay. Again, I hope that I will make sure that he will understand much more than I do and has more self-worth and all that stuff. Yeah, that's why I went no contact with mom and stepdads. Kids wanted to. Yeah, kids, I feel like kids know a lot of times before we do because we are hopefully more abused than they are, and more in it and more confused and obviously understanding more, whereas kids are like picking up on energy and picking up on, like, they're like, actually I'm scared of that person now and I don't want to be around them. And like I always say he knew we needed to go before I did and he saved us. And I really do believe that. I'm currently in the process of divorcing a diagnosed man with NPD. I'm very sensitive as a result. Absolutely, that makes sense. And I just got off the phone with my divorce lawyer who knows about the abuse. He's so mean to me. The lawyer? can we do some positive affirmations? What do you want me to make them up, or do you have any that would help you? Like, what are you in need of right now? I appreciate that you're teaching where you're at. Your story matters no matter where you are in the journey. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Yeah, so I'll do a couple affirmations and you can say them out loud or just think them or add to them or change them however you see fit. I am capable and I am worthy of being treated nicely. I am capable and I'm worthy of being treated nicely. I am capable and I'm worthy of being treated nicely. Let's see if I can do another one. With this stupid TikTok audio in my head. You're such a kind badass. Thank you. Thank you. I don't always feel that way. Thank you. What else are y'all thinking, feeling, doing? Thank you. You're welcome. Thanks for asking for that. I should do that more often. What's your story? I saw your videos. How many videos did you see? What did you see? Because I don't know where to start. What brought you here? Oh my goodness. I don't know what just happened. I clicked on something and it went away, but now I'm back. First live I ever saw was close to a year ago. I was going through a breakup. Like, yeah, I remember, like, you've been around for a while. And I do remember that, and I can't believe that's been a year. And you were so kind and compassionate. Thank you so much. I'm so glad. A year ago, that means I was still in it. A year ago. I found a year ago. Yeah, you were in that relationship at the time. I found that I found a lot of joy or purpose in supporting people. Like I was going live a lot more. Obviously, I had less time with Adler because I wasn't I wasn't with him all the time. Like, he would go to his dad's house, whereas now it's like he's in the other room. So I went live a lot more, and I was working a lot, so I would go live a lot, and you all brought me so much comfort by just being here and talking to me and showing me that I was worthy, that you enjoyed knowing about my life, that you enjoyed talking to me and like what I had to say and things like that. And it really did, like, even while I was in the worst of it, it kept me going. And I truly believe that, like, it's part of what's, like, having this community is part of what helped me heal so much, is because, like, I was building a platform while I was in it without even knowing it, that, like, when it would come down to it and it was time for me to say, stop saying, well, our relationship was toxic and it didn't work out and neither of us is the bad guy and blah, 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 and say, actually, you know what? This was abuse. It was horrific. I need to talk about this. I need to spread awareness of this. I'm not doing justice to all the people who have put their faith in me if I don't talk about this. But it really did bring light to my day, even when y'all were talking about difficult things, to be able to talk with people. It broke my heart to know that you were silently hurting at that time and I couldn't support the same. Yeah, I couldn't talk about it. And I actually found a boatload of TikToks that I made in 2021 mostly, where they were cries for help, but I never posted them because obviously if I had, people would know. And a lot of times when you're in relationships like this, you're desperate for people to know, but at the same time, you're desperately protecting your abuser because you're trauma bonded to them, because they've taught you to. They taught you to not say anything to anyone. Hey, Adler? I can hear his little feet, but I don't know what he's doing. What you doing, buddy boy? My mom's out there. He's not abandoned. Don't worry. How long are you out now? Would you talk about what you still struggle with? Absolutely. That's a great question. Pangirl Mental Health joined. I wish I could save your comment because I love it. I'm going to screenshot it so I can answer it later. Okay. What's today? Couple days I'll be 9 months no contact, which means 11 months broken up. Yeah. We broke up in late August of last year, and I'm definitely going to crank out some content about that because that will be 1 year since my birthday video was made by my abuser, trying to get me to show off how amazing they were, and like didn't find it on my phone until January and was like, holy crap, covert abuse is like crazy obvious in this video. I need to share this. Didn't realize it would take off like it did. But anyway, so I've been no contact since October. So there's my time frame. What I struggle with now, I think, is people. I struggle with people, like, you know, I'm still creating content and trying to spread awareness, and then seeing how horrible people are and how invalidating people are and how much people don't understand, even if it's like accidental. Like today someone said something to me like, you're not just a victim, you can stop making content about this. And I was like, actually, that is a sugary way to say shut the fuck up, and I will not stand for this. I will now publicly, without saying your name, because I'm not like that, I will publicly respond to this and say, hey everyone, please don't talk to survivors like this. If a survivor is speaking up, period, let them have their voice, because it takes so long to find it, to get it, to like fight for it. It's a horrible thing to say to someone. So I struggle the most with people in general. I hope that makes sense. I also, like, I'm doing incredibly well because I have put myself in places where I don't get triggered, and that doesn't mean that I don't work on them, because I knew right away that I had to work on them, that I would, when they came up, I journaled, or I would tell someone, or I would, like when I was in Spain last fall, I would come on my Instagram stories and I would talk about it. I would talk about, I just remembered this, I just remembered that. And I bet I could probably scroll back and like re-watch some of those videos and do a podcast episode about something. But would struggle to be in close proximity with people more. Like, having friends close, and or like if I were to like date someone, I would really struggle, period. And I'm very aware of this, because what I'm saying is I haven't put myself in situations where, like, you know, I'm very picky about who I hang out with. I'm very picky about who I spend my time with. I'm with my family, and like, my family triggers me. I'm sure I trigger them. Like, it's, family is hard, but like, I don't put myself around people who I would feel that way with. So I hope that makes sense. He's the cutest, by the way. Thank you. I wanted anyone to notice I wasn't myself, but felt like everyone turned their cheek instead. Yeah, I know what you mean. People kind of like write it off, or think it's normal, or just plain don't want to deal with it. Like, there's a whole gem full of people who know for sure that my ex is abusive, and just was like, this is messy, I don't want to deal with this. Hopefully Lindsay leaves and shuts up, so we can just keep having this coach who teaches us how to do pull-ups, and like might steal a girl from her husband every couple of months. It's fine. And people do that a lot. But I don't know if, are you still in here, Kelsey? Okay, I can't tell. Yes, Kelsey's still in here. Kelsey, I'm going to call you out. Kelsey is one of the people who like did know and talked to me about it, and was like, are you okay? And sort of like made a plan for me, and was like, hey, if things don't change in like, say, 60 days or 90 days, maybe let's start seeing about you trying to get out. And of course, those 90 days came up, and I wasn't ready to get out. And I just stopped talking to Kelsey, probably, I don't really remember, because I was like, I don't want to address this. I don't want to come back and be like, hey, this plan isn't working. I'm not ready. What should I do now? Another 90 days, renew my subscription. And so there were definitely, I think because of the position I'm in, that people were watching me online and like seeing my abuser in lives with me, and seeing their behavior, and people who've been through it were like, something is off here. Like, people saw it, but not everyone might have felt like they could say something. Like, Kelsey was very brave to say something about it. But I do think that a lot of times people in real life won't, because there's like more at stake. They're afraid that, like, you know, you'll lose the friendship. Whereas like people online, like, if they did say something, what are they going to lose? Maybe I don't follow them anymore, or like don't respond to their message. So I think for me, it was a little bit different, but absolutely, Brittany, I hear you. I'm 9 months out of the trauma bond with my mother-in-law after being enmeshed. We're in a similar place. Enmeshed. That's such a good, horrible word, horrible thing, but like such good awareness, and being able to come out of that and get out of that is so awesome. That's right. And if you have a platform, why not continue to help others? Yes, absolutely. Like, we work, like creators, we work so hard to, I mean, some of us not as much, like we all have our level of like involvement and like putting in effort and things like that, but like I worked so hard to get where I was, and then I was like, oh man, if I'm not doing justice to the people, like I'm not. And of course, like now that I do have somewhat of a platform, I mean, I'm not like famous, I don't have like a huge account. Ow, my hip ran into the wood. But like, you know, we can always be doing more as well. Like, there's so many things that I'm like, oh, I should talk about that. But all you can do is do your best. And like, this is my topic right now. And it still feels really important to me. So again, I'm always really happy when people say that it helps. 13 years of abuse, seen his true colors in the last 5 months, cost me 60 pounds. Yep. Super common to completely lose yourself and stop taking care of yourself and just like rock bottom. Especially now that you're healthy. Yay. Okay, do you have a podcast? I love podcasts while I play my game. Yes, I do. It's called It's Not All Rainbows. It's on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and I think there's some other like websites and stuff. I don't know what they're called, but I think it's like distributed there as well. And I just finally started recording myself so that it can go on YouTube as well for anyone who needs captions, because that was one of my biggest like issues with the podcast, was that it wasn't accessible. I am a sign language interpreter, so I really wanted it to be accessible for my deaf and hard of hearing friends. So if you want to put it on YouTube, I will say that, as you can see if you watch me, I do have ADHD and I don't take any meds as of now. So it is kind of probably very distracting to watch me, especially if you don't have ADHD and you're like, why is this girl moving so much? But it's one of the things that I need to stop apologizing for. I've only recorded myself twice for the YouTube podcast format thing. But I was like, and also I'm going to be moving a lot. I'm sorry. Yes, she does. I look up to you so much. Thank you so much. That's such a weird thing to hear. Just because I just don't see myself that way. But thank you so much. It means a lot to me. Yes, I am. Kelsey, I'm so glad you're here. Merp, yes. But also, like you've said in the past, it's so hard to tell a friend without ruining your friendship. Yes, I am working on, I'm not completely sure what format it will be, but I'm working on some kind of thing that's like how to help friends who are in abusive relationships, or it could be sister, cousin, mom, whatever. So I'm working on putting together something for that, whether it be like a downloadable PDF or a webinar or something. I don't know what it'll be, but I'm compiling information for that because, again, like Kelsey just said, it can absolutely ruin your friendship. Because let's say, for example, I was really stuck in it, still really protective of my abuser and didn't want to hear what Kelsey had to say, and or I was embarrassed, ashamed. Shame is a very big thing. Like, I felt ashamed, so I withdrew from Kelsey because I knew that Kelsey knew not everything, but definitely knew that something was terribly wrong. And when I still hadn't made any effort to leave 90 days later, I was deeply ashamed. So it's very hard. I make content, but this imposter syndrome is real. I invalidate my own knowledge and experience. Absolutely. Same. Imposter syndrome is horrible. Or not all rainbows. Yeah, I changed it. It was late to lesbian, and then I was like, I don't talk about this anymore. I'm talking about abuse. This doesn't make sense. And not all rainbows, I think, can carry on if I decide to stop talking about abuse, and I can just talk about whatever the hell, because, like, life is not all rainbows. Like, maybe sometimes it's fun, maybe sometimes it's not. I don't know. The fact is, you have 100% helped others recognize abuse, leave abuse, or not just, or even just not feel alone. Thank you so much for saying that. Really, it means a lot to me. It really does. I'll look it up. I have ADHD. I get it. Well, then you're here for the mess. So there's zero reason for you to stop talking about it. Thank you. I really appreciate it. How do you handle phone calls from him? I have a special ringtone as a warning. Okay, so first of all, my abuser is not a cisgendered man. I, in fact, do not know what they are at this point because I have been no contact for so long, and I went no contact with everyone who knows them. So I just want to put that out there. And I recommend blocking him because I don't have phone calls from my abuser. I have them blocked on everything. Last time they tried to contact me was in April, so I'm doing good. But I definitely don't recommend allowing an abusive ex to still have access to you because it can refuel the trauma bond that you're trying to break, trying to heal from. It can reset off like the rumination in your mind when you're like, if say you haven't heard from them for a couple of months, you're starting to do better, you're not being triggered by them. Like you said, as a warning, that can set off your fight or flight. Your nervous system is going to go haywire. And now you have to calm back down. At the very least, you have to be like, okay, I'll tell you this. My abuser's brother called me. I was at work and I borderline had a panic attack because I was like, why is he calling me? Realized he needed blocked as well. I don't know why he called me. I did not answer. He did not leave a message. He didn't text me. For a second, I thought that my abuser died and that he was calling me to tell me that they died, which of course would set me off because that would be very upsetting, even though I never want to see them again. But it's just like this, like, why is he calling? What does he have to say to me? Why would he, it's been months since I left, like 6-7 months since I left. So honestly, I do recommend blocking him and like his parents or siblings if they have your number. I feel like seeing people in lives really humanizes them. You're so awesome. I'm glad I caught you. Thank you so much. I do try to come live, and especially on TikTok, because if you don't follow me on Instagram, which if you have Instagram, please follow me over there if you like this, because or if you like to know that I'm a real human. I'm in my stories a lot. I share a lot in my stories. I shared more about my travels. I share about Adler. I share about my dog. I share ups and downs and things like that. So it is a lot more personal, if you like that. But yeah, that's why I try to go live. And I do go live on TikTok more because, again, y'all don't know. You see me, like, I'm doing a little bit more talking responses now because I feel like it is a good way for you to see who I am and what I sound like and how I communicate and things like that. But TikTok can be very impersonal when, like, sometimes I'll see a creator make a video and use their voice and I'm like, you're British, or like you're whatever, you're Italian. I don't know, because we're just constantly doing like TikTok audio and you can't tell. So yeah, I'm glad you're here, by the way. Was it hard going no contact to everyone they know on top of them? Mutual friends, flying monkeys? No, because at this point I had educated myself on all the tools that narcissists use and was kind of prepared for it, even though you can't be prepared for it. You cannot be prepared for like losing another friend, finding out another one of them is enabling or a flying monkey or whatever. But it wasn't hard because it was just like, well, I already had to literally like slice myself out of this person's life or slice them out of my life, which feels like, it almost feels like, I don't know if this is disrespectful or like grotesque, but like a conjoined twin, and you're doing like this super invasive surgery to extract yourself from this other person because I'm sorry, I know some conjoined twins can live, but a lot of times like one of them's not going to make it because they're so depending on each other for survival. And like now we're getting into codependency, but like that's how it feels. You're literally like surgically removing them from you because they're like God, what's the word? I can't think of the word. Like a parasite. Not conjoined twins. I hope that wasn't offensive. I don't know any conjoined twins, and I don't even know if that's the right word. So if anyone knows, please correct me because I definitely didn't mean to be offensive. That's just the visual that came to mind of like slicing them away from me. But it was like, I did all that work. I'm doing all the work to like get them away from me and never let them back in. So lots of people have to go along with it. It's like tearing down a historic building because it's full of mold, and maybe there's a couple really awesome things that you wish that you could save. Not that enablers are awesome, but like there's some things that are gonna have to go down with it, and that's too bad. You know what I mean? Like we can't save every bit of this because it's infested with mold. So goodbye. I don't know if my analogies are working tonight or not. The rumination finally ending solidified me staying no contact. I never want to go through that again. Once you start to heal, once you stop ruminating, you stop picking up your phone thinking they're going to contact you, because it is an addiction. You are addicted. You've been trained to be constantly on the lookout for them, constantly aware of their behavior, of their mood, of their whatever. Once you start to clearly see what happened and what you went through, you don't want to go back. I have seen people, Hearts with Jules made a video today about how she got out, she moved across like the province, she's in Canada, and was no contact for 2 years and got hoovered back. And so that's why and now she's good again, but that's why it is so important to not give in to the hoovering if they find a way to get in touch with you, because it's not real. And like you said, just reminding yourself. When I started this live, I was actually reading through my journal, and I have multiple lists in here from when I first left. I could probably make some more that are called, some of them are called red flags that I missed. There's 2, like maybe 4 pages of that. And then the next one is called super toxic shit you did. Like make a list like that, and then remember, or like even write down like ways that you felt while you were in it and ways that you feel now. Like constantly panicked, never slept. Heart rate was through the roof, and I had a tracker, so I was aware of it. And I was like sharing it on Instagram, like, y'all, my resting heart rate is 140. Oh my God, it's 150. I'm literally sitting on the couch and have been for 30 minutes. Like all of this stuff. And then how do you feel now? Like, this is why I think it's important to you don't have to talk about it every day. Like if you don't have a platform and you're not raising awareness and you're not like posting almost every day about it, like we don't have to talk about our abuse every single day. And like, you know, some people say that then we're obsessing, which I completely disagree with. We're healing and we're helping others heal. but like definitely have it somewhere so that if you ever forget, like you said, I never want to go through that pain again. Or talk to someone who saw you through it all and say, oh my God, I see you now. You're such a different person. I am so happy. And I remember you were run down. You had like black circles all around your eyes all the time because you were so tired. You lost 60 pounds. I don't want to see you that way. And then you're like, you're right. You helped me realize that. Oh no, I've done this, that. I was being abused in my first relationship. Thank you so much. Thank you. It means a lot to me. It's hard and lonely at first, but once you start finding new safe humans, it's okay. Yes. So happy to see you coming back to yourself. Hope to catch you alive again soon. Love and light, Lindsay. Thanks. It was so nice to see you. Have a good night. I jumped off the deep end before healing or understanding narcissism is hard. That's a good way of describing it. Thank you. Accurate AF description. I don't know which one you're responding to because I talked a lot and there's more comments, but thank you so much. I did too. It's like been a few years and now I'm seeing who else is unsafe. Hello. So my mom left my dad a while ago, but my brother still lives with my dad and my dad uses my brother as a way to still talk to my mom and brother. My mom left my dad. Brother still lives there. Brother's talking to mom. So brother is now a pawn. Brother is now either a flying monkey or at the very least, like, yeah. So mom needs to talk to brother, depending how old you both are, maybe even stop talking to brother. If brother's choosing dad and choosing to be involved in the abuse and things like that, I don't know. Depends how old you are, because obviously that's not going to be easy for mom if he's like a minor. I love those list ideas. Yeah, I recommend that to people who are first leaving because like I said, you're the brain fog. You're still in cognitive dissonance. You're not really sure. You question yourself. Like I remember being like, am I crazy? Did I make this up? Was it not as bad as I thought it was? But then I have a phone full of proof. I have arguments. I have text messages of threats and all those things. And so that's helpful too. I can just go back and listen to one thing and listen to their voice and like the hatred in it and like the blaming and the projection and all that. Like I can listen to a 5-second clip and be like, oh, yep. I did not make this up. I don't even have to listen to what they're saying. And I don't. But I could. And I think that's important. Yeah, my brother's 13 and I'm 17. Okay, yeah, that sucks. Definitely gonna have to figure something out because he's definitely right now a sort of go-between. And dad's using him as a pawn. Yes, the cognitive dissonance is debilitating. It is. It really is. And it's not something any of us asked for. It's not something any of us did wrong or like we weren't born with like crappy brains or like whatever. It's like this person literally took away our reality and now we don't know what's real. Oh my God, did I make this up? Get all ready for bed before I have my next meeting. So you're doing a great thing talking about this. Thank you so much. Thank you for spreading awareness. Thank you. It means a lot to me. It really does. And I say this every time, but it keeps me going. So anyway, I hate to wrap this up. I don't like to wrap it up when it's going so well and we're having such great conversation, but I'm going to get my kiddo ready for bed and I will try to come back again soon. These lives, I think I did one the other day. They've been really successful and I've really been enjoying hanging out with all of you. So thank you so much. Follow me on Instagram if you haven't, because again, I'm much more present there. The link is in my bio. Find me on YouTube. I'm starting to get the YouTube channel up and going. It's the Lindsay Goodman, so it's all the Lindsay Goodman. So check me out over there. Let me know if you're there. Say hello. And my dad has the audacity to say my mom abused him. It's always that way. They're always the victim.